Where's Louis? Okay. Hey, y'all. This is November, and I am proud of myself. So shout out to me because this is like our third or fourth AMA. And I'm with the homie, a member, a business owner, a friend. But like before we go into that, we do the Us Space Ask Me Anything lives once a month. It kind of falls in the week. It falls in on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It kind of keeps flexing because we're all business owners and we're kind of just doing what we're doing. So we try to jump on around the same time, noon-ish, and we allow ourselves grace. But these sessions are all about like real conversation between us as business owners, and that includes you, and sharing what we've learned, what we're building, how we're growing together, the laughs, all the things. And I'm really excited to be here today. But before I introduce our guests, I want to let you know what's happening here at the Us Space. As you know, we have 11,000 square feet in downtown Houston, centered and focused around business growth, visibility, development, being able to get shit done, just whoever you need to be, even business education. The Us Space, we want to provide that. We want to provide good vibes, fun, all the things. So there's that. We have Work Accountability Day once a month. It's every third Wednesday, and it's our longest running program, and we usually have a lunch and learn. So this month, next Wednesday, there's Work Accountability Day and a lunch and learn. So you can register for both of those individually or together, do all that kind of stuff, November 19th.
You had me at lunch.
At lunch? Are you coming? I'll order. We need to talk about what to order. You were like zoned out, and you're like, yeah, I'll be at lunch. You're like, ding, ding, ding. I love it. And then we have like community highlights. We do Tusk Night Out. So Tusk Night Out, we go all different places. But as you know, we have a partnership with the Ensemble Theater. So we're going to go see their December play all around Christmas and the holidays. We're excited about that. So meet us at the Ensemble on December 11th. If you get our newsletter, we have a discount code. Use it. I think it's TUS10. And then we're doing Year of Joy for the 4th year. So Joy Sewing from the Houston Chronicle. She works together with different city entities and brings in kids from 3rd Ward and 2nd Ward, and I believe A-Leaf even, and they come and they ice skate in Discovery Green. It's pretty cool. Right. And we've volunteered for 4 years helping the kids get on their gloves and off the buses and all that kind of stuff. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Check out our website, theusspace.com, and do that sooner than later. So today's guest is one of our very own members. He's been a member of like this physical space. He's one of the first people that came on by happenstance. It was really weird. And then he's just been rocking with the vibe, and we've been rocking with him. And we're just associated in so many ways and just even aligned on doing good business with good people. So I'm really excited about that. And he's the person that put in our cameras here. So we see you. Did you forget about that?
I forgot about it.
Wow. Mom said hi, by the way. Okay. So, Luz, I want you to introduce yourself. I could do all the flexes. Like I was reading your bio about how many dollars in sales you've helped companies raise, and your company, the Zags with Microsoft, and that's one of your official partners, and all these good things you do. But I would love for you to take a minute and just brag on yourself, because I need to see more business owners doing that in this way that's factual, right? Like it's not the flex of a lie, but it's telling people what you do and how good you do it so that they can secure your services or keep you in mind when they're scaling.
So let's see. Flex on myself. So you want my background as well, or
do whatever you want, even though, we know you like lunch and food and coffee.
There's a lot of things I've gotten involved with, and food was the hook. Like if you look back at every like organization I was a member of in college, I think the initial way I got in was they had food, and I just showed up, and then once I'm eating there, I get hooked into whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they get people to volunteer. Yeah. It's food, good food.
I guess maybe I'm like a lifelong college student in that front. I haven't matured.
That's a good thing about the business ecosystem, though. Like in Houston, like you're gonna get some food and some liquor.
Yeah. And some coffee right now. Yeah. So my background's finance. My career's taken a lot of different turns. Started in operations at a big investment bank. Well, you want me to flex? So at Goldman Sachs, and then moved into Wall Street, like a more traditional Wall Street job at Goldman, covering technology companies. So
Okay.
whenever you see someone saying, there's a report to buy this stock, sell this stock, hold it, that was kind of what we were doing. But and our client base was major pension funds, hedge funds, high net worth individuals.
I didn't know this about you.
Yeah.
Wow. That explains like the slick back hair thing you're doing. That's like so Goldman Sachs. Like, okay,
No.
keep going.
All
Want to hear more?
And then I left that. So I was doing that in New York and left. I guess I got tired of the cold, and so I went to go work for a family office in their private equity arm in San Diego. Never thought I would live in California. I hadn't been there since I was a kid, and when they flew me out to interview, I get off the plane with the weather, and I was like, "Oh, this is," it was like 10 degrees back in New York because I think the interview was like in December or something like that. So I thought it was kind of an interesting role. Part of it was private equity, traditional, looking for companies to acquire. The other part was helping our portfolio companies grow, and that's kind of when I got the bug a little bit of, I kind of like helping companies grow as opposed to doing the traditional finance work. So that took me through a bunch of different stages. Ended up moving into tech. While I was at the technology company, I partnered with a private equity firm to try and look for a company to acquire that was doing cloud migrations.
Well, talk about really quick. You said you moved into tech, and I think that that's a really cool thing because, here at that space, people are like, well, what industries are your members? And I'm like, everything: tech, cybersecurity, lawyers, people that do executive coaching, people that write grant, like all these things. But one of the common conversations, and you're going to be popular, I'm manifesting it over the next year, is because AI tech integration, right? And you did that. But sometimes people in spaces like traditional, like a Goldman Sachs or something, are looking for, how do you transition over? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different roles in technology besides just being a coder. So that's what I leveraged my background in finance. So I joined a technology company that was selling to the financial industry. So it was actually a company that I used to be a user of. And so I was one of the few people in the company that had been a customer previously. And so while I didn't know the full platform the way my colleagues there knew it that had grown up in the company, I had a different perspective. I knew how to talk to our clients the way in their language because I had been a client before.
So the add value was not only that you knew the financing part of the tech that they were selling, but you also were a client. So you were the end user. So when you came back into the company, or you came into the company, you had stuff to leverage.
I had experience that very few people in that company had. So technology is across every industry, right? So almost any industry you're in, there's some technology providers into that industry, and that's probably the easiest way to move into tech. And I moved into sales. So again, I'm not a developer, and I had not done sales since I was in high school. But I've always kind of taken the approach of I can learn almost any job, and so I knew I wanted to move into tech, and I also knew I wanted to move into entrepreneurship. So maybe I'll take one step back. I was looking for a business to acquire at the time before I moved into tech. And I had a meeting, and this is maybe the benefit of community. I happened to run into a successful business guy, older guy, at one of the, I was living in LA at the time, at some event that I went to. Asked him to lunch. He said yes. I brought my resume, and I kind of told him, look, I know that I want to buy a business someday.
Yeah.
Here's my experience. Do you think I'm set up for success or not?
Let's pause there because you said a lot, right? Like, y'all welcome in if you're just coming in. This is AMA, so the Us Space, Ask Me Anything for Business, and I'm here with Lewis, and we're talking about like how he transitioned from the job he was in to the tech industry. And two things that you said that I love in our shared community that really come across, because I think everybody at the Us Space brings their own vibe. And one thing you said is that you really kind of just figure it out. You're like, oh, I can probably do that. I can learn that. And that's a confidence that I don't feel like naturally is bestowed upon women. So I love that our community is mixed in some types of way, because that's a vibe that is needed, right? And shared. And the other thing that you said is that you're like leveraging all the things you know to get into an industry that doesn't directly seem obvious for what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I have three sisters, so I've seen that, and it's a frustrating point for me sometimes where I'm trying to get my sisters to do something, and like, well, I've never done that before. I'm like,
but you can.
You can. Like I know you're smart. I know you. If you just break down the problem into small steps, you can figure it out. Mm-hmm. There's very little things that we're doing that is bleeding edge technology. So, granted, if you're trying to create a new biotech drug, trying to cure cancer, yeah, you're like on the bleeding edge of stuff. You're trying to do something that no one else has done before.
Yeah.
But in business, for the most part, you're doing something, you may be making your own tweak to it, but someone's done it before. And so I'll give you the example of my sister, where I was trying to get her to help me create a website for a friend. Mm-hmm. I didn't have the time. I had kind of committed to it, but I didn't have the time. So I tried to bring in my sister.
Which we do as business owners to help.
And she's like, well, but I've never done a website before. I'm like,
who cares?
Yeah. I'm like, there's so many websites out there to figure out. Yeah. And it wasn't, and the thing was, she didn't even have to really build it. I had another guy that could build it, but he doesn't have, I would say, the
finesse to put in the
design. Yeah. To make it pretty and make it do well. The UI UX kind of side. Yeah. It's like, he could just build it, but if you just left him to his own devices, it would not be a great looking website. And so I'm like, you just have to figure out how you want it to look, and then just tell him that. But
were you paying her?
I was paying her. Yeah, yeah. But she had this mental hurdle. Yeah, I hope she's watching. Can we tag her in this?
Yeah, we tagging you, sis.
But that was the thing. I'm like, so this was for a nonprofit, and I'm like, just find a couple nonprofit websites. You have good taste. Find some that you like, and just start to pick and take, here, I like this and this from this one. I like here, I like this piece and this piece from that one. And you make your own.
In business, that's like that op-ed research that you do. Because I think that sometimes, even with like, if we go into like people of color, sometimes we're like, that's stealing. It's not stealing. Like, you have to do the research. You have to understand your direct competitors, your indirect competitors, people that are aligned with you. And then you go to a website that has nothing to do with your company and grab some vibe from there.
Oh, I copy ideas all the time. I would.
You enhance an idea. You don't copy it.
Yes, I copy it and then tweak it for what I need to do.
Yeah.
Like for my use case.
Yeah. Cause what is it? Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, if I see a good idea in another industry or a competitor,
it's mine.
I'm taking it. I'm like, what can I do? Yeah. To improve it or just make it fit for our clientele or our growth strategy or our marketing strategy.
Yeah, like what you said, like improve it or even break it down.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because some of it you may not need. Okay, we could go all day about like the things, and we'll keep going through your story because I think that it's really cool. But you're even a community leader. So you are the co-chair of the Center for Houston's Leadership Committee. And I'm his co-chair. That's how we became like really knowing each other. And, it meant a lot to me that when we opened the Us Space last year, you were one of the people, not even in my cohort, but we met and you came and supported and ended up winning 6-month dedicated desk, something like that. Yeah. And that's how you became a member of the Us Space. So I always use stories like that to tell people that you never know who you're target market really is until you really put your product or your service or your good out there, because like you're one of the bomb loved members up here, and there's a whole vibe. So I love that. And then you're also on you're a board member for the Latinos lead, or who lead? Is it who lead or lead?
No, lead. Yeah.
Okay. So talk more about that and talk about how that plays directly into your business involvement. Because I think that sometimes as business owners, we keep our head down too much, and we're in our business and not working on our business and going out in the community and telling people what we do and showing people who we are. You are inspired by others' designs. Yes, I like that. You're inspired. We like that. Thank you. We'll take that one.
So the question is like the benefits of getting involved in the community?
Yeah, and then why you're involved, and how that directly correlates to being like a business owner and how it gets your story out.
Yeah, admittedly, I probably haven't done that great of a job at that part. There's been, I think, for me, getting involved in the community has been more of just the community side of it. I probably haven't done a great job of like bringing the business into that side of things. But that doesn't mean that there hasn't been benefits to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's been, the benefit here at the US space is that other people will host events here. And so I've grown my network in tangible ways for the business. Accidentally, I guess I would say, in the sense of I was just here. It wasn't intentional on my part. But there happened to be an event here. I grab coffee whenever, I try not to get involved in the event and like crash it. But when it's over and we're all getting coffee, you just start to mingle and you make connections there. And so there's been tangible benefits to the business from that. I should do a better job of being more upfront about, or like you were saying at the beginning of like, it may feel like bragging, but it's really just telling people what you do. And we probably shouldn't view it as bragging. It's just
they're facts.
It's just the facts. Yeah.
Yeah. What do the Gen Z say? No, do we say period, or is that Gen Z? Period. That tracks. That tracks is them. Okay. Okay, y'all. So, we're going to move into the Ask Me Anything segment of the Business Owners Helping Business Owners. Now, admittedly, some of these I wrote, some are directly from your bio, and my assistant, GPT, did stuff. And then some of these come from common conversations here at TUS and just passing that I make sure I write down. Now, the cool thing is, because this is interactive, if you have questions or a comment, make sure that you do the likes, the 100, share this with people, or even leave a comment. And if you're watching this after, we try to check the video every now and then. And if you're live and in real time, we are going to answer. So this one was submitted, and this is around like the fact that AI is everywhere right now. And for a small or medium-sized business owner, and for the purpose of this conversation, let's say small and medium-sized is not the SBA definition, because those are some fucking huge numbers.
Yeah, I was gonna say
so
that.
So we talking like our common little people over here, small and medium-sized businesses. Go look up the SBA numbers. You're gonna be like, that's what they call small business? Okay, not realistic. But that goes to a whole nother conversation around who writes the policies for the people that are doing the thing. But anyways, so small and medium, for a small and medium sized business, because AI is everywhere, where should we even start?
I'd say the easiest answer is ChatGPT, the paid version. It's like $20 a month. I guess I would say, look, one of my sisters is on there, so like she can.
Hey, sis.
She can vouch for my cheapness. But it's such a powerful tool when you're using it that to me it's a kind of a no-brainer to use the paid version. It's like the first paid version is like $20 a month, I think. So yeah,
it's something like that. Laurel says the same thing. So Universe says that I need to do that. I keep meaning to. My ADHD makes me forget.
You can use ChatGPT for that.
Or okay, there's ChatGPT, and I just received an article from one of our Founders Triangle partners, and it was talking about Claude and Claude and Gemini. Gemini's kind of forceful. Gemini be all up in my emails and giving me summaries. I'm like, you don't know how I talk, and it even takes some of my email language. So that's a place to start, is with some AI.
I would pick, the easiest thing, I guess, maybe to broaden it, choose one tool. Like, there's so many tools out there.
Okay.
So I think the most important thing is just to get started. And so instead of trying to worry what's the perfect tool to get started with, I think any of those three would be fine to get started with.
Okay, so we have a comment. Well, one, pay for it so you have more control over how they use your information. That's a good point. And then the comment below it says, I like free ChatGPT and Claude.
Yeah.
So with that, because it kind of correlates with the comment above it, why not the free version? Because I've been busting down that free version. Sometimes chat be spiraling out on me because it's like, bitch, you're getting too much from this free version. So
that you're kind of answering your question. So there's limits on the data, right? On your token usage on the free one. And then to the other point there, the free, the paid versions is when OpenAI will say they won't train the models on your data. The free one doesn't have that, from what I remember, unless they've changed that.
Well, I feel like I'm doing my citizenship duty, having it train on my stuff, because
okay.
I'm a representation of many things.
It's all tiers, right? So like, if you're not using it at all versus someone who's using the free version person is ahead of you. But now, once you level up to that, who's your next competition, right? It's someone using the paid version has a more powerful model, less limits on it. So
were you a debater in high school, college? No. You should have been a debater. That's because you have 3 sisters, so you got that clap back. Yeah. He's like, it's tiered. Clearly, if you're not using it, use it. If it's free, pay. I love that, but it's a good point. Okay, so my commitment to myself as an entrepreneur is, by the end of this week, to pay for. And I feel like I already have my chat very well trained, and every single time I start getting real good with my prompts, because I'm a prompt queen, it's like, you're out of memory. Get the paid version for and I have to always click out of it. People are laughing at us. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So again, y'all, this is the US Space AMA Ask Me Anything Live for business. I'm here with Lewis. We're talking around AI and just like business triumphs, mistakes, all those kind of things. He's dope. Watch the video from the beginning if you want to know more. We are in the Ask Me Anything segment. So if you're in the comments, keep going. Sounds like civic duty to me. Yes, I love that. Go ahead.
Maybe one way to rephrase it. Think of it as your part-time employee versus a full-time employee. So it's like almost someone volunteering at the free version. Okay, great. You get some benefits, but you always get more benefits from having a full-time employee. So now, to go from a volunteer to a full-time employee, digital employee here for $20 a month, it's going to be hard to beat that deal. Like, where else are you going to find some deal like that, right?
This tracks. You're a great debater. We're done. I have no words. Okay. So question 2, this one is around, you've worked across financing, private equity, and now tech. How does that all mix into your experience shaping how you lead and build the Zig? And I know that in your bio, it also says, he has a really nice bio, and it says co-founder, and it says non-technical.
Yeah. My friend and business partner, Cruz, is a technical.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know if he's on. I think he's on one of our client calls. So how does it impact how we lead? Is that the question?
Yeah. How do all those impact how you're leading and building Zig? And I think this goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning, how you're leveraging things, breaking things down, building things up.
Yeah. We take, we've taken what we liked from our Wall Street days and sort of combined it with what we liked from the tech. And
was he on Wall Street with you?
He, for a little bit, and then he was like, I'm really a tech person. I need to go the tech route. And so he left and did that.
Okay.
And so there's things we both worked at Goldman. We were both kind of like, when we left, we were like burned out. But it's also a little, it's funny how often we bring back up stuff we learned and then bring it back into this business. So there's a lot of the structure that that we benefited from that Goldman had that we've now tried to recreate. Not only that, even the partnership route. So Goldman's history for most of it is being run by a partner structure, like having a banker and a trader being kind of like co-CEOs or something that, CEO, president. So we run a lot of our decisions through each other, filtering, because we feel like we get a better result at the end, even though sometimes that means that there's some friction. Like I have a really strong held belief, so does he. And so conversations get a little tense sometimes, yes, but ultimately we arrive at a better answer.
And, I love that you say that, because that co-founder piece, and, I'm a co-founder of a non-for-profit, and we have that friction too, but it's such a good thing. She's marketing and branding. I'm ops and logistics. So obviously it's kind of like finance and tech.
There's some natural tension.
There's some natural tension. But the thing that I hear you saying that's very aligned with how I feel about co-founder relationships, especially, is that the mission driven, and y'all are having friction around how you're driving the mission, not around the ego of what you want to personally do.
Yeah.
So that's a really good one.
And that's the thing. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're all aligned and have the same goals for the business. So I think that's probably the most important part. So as long as you and your business partner, co-founders agree on the big picture stuff, I think the rest of the stuff can kind of work itself out.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really good. I was thinking in the back of my head, I was like, well, how does that go with members? Because like the members just be telling me what they want, and I just try to get it. Like today it was some chairs, and now we got new chairs and 400. And so whatever. So I'm just like, you get bossed around in business as a business owner. And I know that everybody's like, I'm a boss, but no, your job is to get bossed around and listen to what your customer, your client, your co-founder needs. So I love that. Okay. So this is a submitted question. You're an US-based member and part of several leadership organizations. How does community spaces like the US-Space help you stay grounded and connected while you're building such a fast-moving industry? So you've talked a little bit about community even in LA. You've touched on it in the US-Space. And I think one of the things that when I was doing customer discovery before we even did our first work accountability day, it was called Get Shit Done, before we opened up physical space, is that I did the customer discovery and I found out that a lot of people like legit feel isolated, like in business, and they talk themselves out of some really, really cool and good things because of that. So speak to community, speak to like the US-Space a bit, even our centralized location, if you have any thoughts on that even.
Yeah, well, I think I mentioned some of the benefits before, right? Like if you are working out of a space like the US-Space where there's community, it's bringing community events here. You get this unintentional networking effect, I guess you want to say. Like I said, but there's other organizations that will come host events here that I don't know, like this is the first time I heard about them, or even if I did know about them, I don't have the time to go all around the city to where all the other places they host it. So the good thing about having something like the US-Space to go to is that it's a central hub. So it brings the networking to you, I guess is kind of a way to think about it.
Oh, that's a good one. Should use that in branding.
And then, I can be pretty lazy on stuff. So I try and find ways to kill two birds with one stone sort of thing. So.
You really do. But I love that because it's cool seeing that like when you come here, like you'll get here in the morning, you get your coffee, you have meetings and everything. And then next thing you know, like you have 2 or 3 events from late afternoon on that you've planned in the centralized area, and you really like capsulate and take advantage of your time and your space and where you're at. So I really do love that. Okay, we have comments. Everybody's talking about this. Choosing the AI that you want, and then also, I guess with co-founders and relationships and stuff, alignment, getting things in writing, and is life and business move, align and focus on change, talk about it, and make sure that you're synced together, pretty much is what one of our members, Laurel, is saying. I love that. So we have time for one more question.
We do have our agreements all in writing too. So, I mean, that is a good point. We were friends for 10 plus years before we went into business together, but we still got it all laid out on contracts.
I love that. Yeah. I always tell people that, because they're like, you can't do business with friends and family. I disagree. I think it's all about, like, when you're doing business with people, if they're excited to sign some type of contract. I love an MOU. I'll write an MOU up so quick. We're getting the hundreds and loves in the little, the little bubbles that go up. Anyways, so looking ahead, what's one AI trend that you think business owners should pay attention to for 2026, 2027? And with that, because we're on platform, what is your ask? What do you need support in?
I mean, I think the trend's really still AI adoption, like in general. Like, I think there's still been a lot of talk about AI. So I think most of the AI adoption has probably happened. So we serve that, I would say, the traditional definition of small, medium-sized businesses. So our businesses that we work with are probably, for the most part, 100 million revenue to maybe 500 million in revenue, something like that. We have a couple that are a little bit.
Y'all hear that? There's
that's the client.
That's the brag, though. It is a flex, because these are the people you're serving, right? So that means that you're in that realm, you're hearing that business language, you're understanding that type of movement. So yes, it is a flex. Okay. Go ahead. Right. Go ahead.
But I think there's a lot of fear around AI adoption, and so that's held back most of businesses, except for the very, very biggest ones that have so much capital that they can afford to kind of
invest in
and learn it the hard way. Yeah. So like there's a lot of, I think it was Johnson & Johnson, where maybe they said, like, I don't know how many millions they spent, but maybe 85% of the AI experiments went nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have, I'm guessing they didn't have a strategy for how they did it. We have a strategy. So when you do things with us, we vet the AI ideas first. So you could say, one way to look at it is like, we have 100% hit rate on successful implementations. Yeah. But the reason is because when a client comes to us, we'll say no to some of their ideas. Like, they'll come to us with some ideas, and sometimes they're really good ones and they're no brainers. And so there's nothing else to be done but to start building it.
Is anybody else out here just like grinning because he just went over something else again? 100%?
Well, again, but it's because we have our proprietary system where we vet the ideas that they have. And so if it's not a good idea, maybe to the other part where you're saying, like, sometimes the client's always right to an extent. And so I think the thing our clients have appreciated is when they come to us with an idea that is not the best use case for AI, we'll tell them that. And luckily, again, they've trusted us in that sense. And so it's gone well, but that's the reason why. It's not that if we've just blindly picked or said yes to every AI project that was presented to us, then our hit rate would not be that. But all of our projects have had ROI of 100% plus. But maybe back to the trend, I think the fear of AI is holding people back. And in some ways, the sound bites are always going to be very easy and very high level. But I think everyone should be double clicking on those comments. And so one of the comments is like, AI is going to take jobs. I usually break it up into two ways. So by far, there's no doubt AI is an efficiency improver. So no matter what, if you're starting to implement AI, you're going to become more efficient. And so I view it as, and most of the good use cases are on the operations side of a business. So to me, most businesses have this decision to make when they implement AI. It's going to decrease their costs, right? And so now you have an option. Do you want to keep those margins? So it's going to increase your margins, right? And now you can keep your margins there and say, okay, I'm not going to grow, but I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Yep.
Or if you're aggressive and you're trying to grow, you can now reduce potentially the cost of your delivery, right? And so if it used to cost me X to deliver my service, and now it's half of that, I can lower my price compared to my competitors and start to take market share, right? So I think the fear of the job, if your business is growing, you should not be looking at AI as taking jobs.
Here's a comment on it. It basically says they also expect employees to start using it without giving time to train and understand the best use in the job. Yeah. I have two thoughts on that. Go. You go, because I have a lot of thoughts.
Well, look, okay. So I view AI as just as another tool. It's just a very powerful tool. But if you're starting a business today, think about if you would do it without a computer, without the internet. That's what it's going to be like if you're running a business without AI. Like, it's just going to be core to what you do, and you won't be able to compete, or you'll be at a big disadvantage. Like, if we weren't using computers, we'd be at a huge disadvantage to our competitors.
Like if you're still on typewriter.
If you're still on typewriter, if you're still just using landlines, like it's just what happens with AI is that expectations are going to go up the same way now that the internet made that happen, right? So now, if a client reaches out, people kind of expect a certain turnaround time. It's just going to be the same thing with AI. So, for example, with us with proposals, because we built so many custom systems, our proposals have always taken a decent amount of time to put together. But now we're using AI to kind of make that turnaround quicker. So what's it going to look like now? So prior to AI, if they go to us or any other competitor, okay, it takes them about a week to get a proposal back from all of us. So we all look the same. Okay, great. Post AI, if somebody's getting them a proposal in 2 hours and the rest of us are still taking a week to get them the proposal, I don't know. Like so now take that and now compound it against everything else. And so it just starts to build this advantage that it's going to be hard to overcome.
Yeah, you say that, and I instantly go to, I have my brand Lorraine Infinity, and I do like staff retreats and board retreats and developments like that, leadership developments for small, medium groups. And I have bids out, and then I need to do sub bids. And I reached out to 2 caterers and gave them both the scope of what I needed. There were some dietary restrictions, all this kind of stuff. One got back to me within like 6-7 hours, and one got back to me a day and a half later. And whether the proposal was better or not, I took the one that I needed to get my bid in on time.
Yep.
And I just think of that, and that's just like a micro, because it's one day, it's a couple $1,000s or something, or a few $1,000s. But yeah, I mean, I can see how that goes. And I think on the juxtaposition of that, as a business owner, I think it's really important that you lay down the rules around how you're going to function. So, for example, on our membership application here at the Space, it says, I think it says give us 48 to 72 hours, business hours, right? Because there is a level of expectation, fast, right? And I think that it is also our job while using AI to slow things down. Like people are like, I need it tomorrow. You don't need it tomorrow, because if I get it to you tomorrow, it's going to go into your inbox. Because now one of the things that you do, and it's a common courtesy, is the follow-up, right? To put it back at the top of somebody's inbox. So it's also using the discernment to understand when something is pertinent and when it's not, and when somebody's available. Like I had a meeting today, and to level set at the end of the meeting, we talked about everything that's needed. And I'm using a recording in AI to make sure that we get our good notes, so that boom, there's the AI piece. But I also, in level setting, we were like, okay, I'm going to get this to you. Give me 3 or 4 days. And in return, this person was like, great, my slow season is coming. after Thanksgiving. So I was like, great. When I send it to you, it's going to just be in your inbox. And toward the end of November, I will ping it to the top. Yeah. So even those kind of things while you're using AI, I think are beyond important, because things can go fast, and they do. And I often talk to people about, I'm not sure we learned the lesson in COVID of like the beauty of slowing down and being able to interact in a different way. Cause like after we all got back, we're like, fucking just go. Like it's just really fast. Yeah. So there's that too. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a fair point, but there's things that AI will make easier, which is then going to increase the importance of other things.
I agree.
The people.
I agree.
Right. And so I would view it as maybe if you can get that, I would still aim for getting that proposal to them faster. But now I have maybe the time, like, do I know what organizations or events they like to go to? Like, do I now have time to invite them out to coffee or lunch, to meet them in person, to do what AI can't do, which is to build that personal relationship.
The personal relationship. Yeah, I think it's a stack of all those things. Okay.
Let me address one of the items. So,
do you need me to scroll back down?
No. It's the part about the employees piece. So, so, back to the Goldman days, like no one owns your career more than yourself. And so, number one, from an employee point of view, you should be learning AI. Like, there's just no doubt about it. Now, there's different ways to learn it. So you can be using it on a personal level for your personal life if you're not allowed to use it at work. I definitely am not trying to encourage using like customer information in a tool that's not allowed by the company, but you can learn AI outside of that. So that's number one. Number two, from a leader standpoint. So again, if you're growing, this is not something that and if you're someone on a company that's growing, AI is a benefit. So again, if you have a team of 10 people doing a certain amount of business, let's say $1 million of business, and it's a team of 10. And now I implemented AI, and now they're twice as productive. Okay, so in theory, if I'm not planning on growing, I could let go of 5 people because they're twice as productive. So I can do that same $1 million of business, which is 5 people now instead of 10. That's the fear that people have. And yeah, technically, if they're not going to grow, I could see that happening in some places. But I think everyone that's probably listening into this is in growth mode. So
wanting to be,
right? And so I don't think it's so. I view it the other way, which is, and this is how we view it. So we've implemented AI. Our developers have become more productive, but we want to grow. So all that's done is really allowed for more clients to come on board without us having to increase headcount as much as we would have had to in the past. Mm-hmm. But we still are hiring, like we're still in hiring mode. So so again, in that scenario, I'd rather keep the 10 people, assuming they're all good, right? And get to 2 million instead of the 1 million.
Yeah.
The other thing from a leader standpoint is, if maybe you're growing a little bit slower, is to help the people on your team understand what this will allow them to do and how they'll be able to grow with the time that they'll get back. So I'll give an example of our project managers, a couple project managers that I really like on our team. Right now, as PMs, full plate, don't really have time for anything else. But I know in previous conversations with them that one of them has an interest in getting more involved on the marketing side. One of them has interest in getting more involved in kind of a sales, quasi-sales type of role. So they were hesitant to do, AI is really helpful on the PM side. And at first they were hesitant to kind of pick up the tools until I had this conversation with them. And I said, remember 6 months ago, you mentioned that you had an interest in getting involved more on the marketing side. Well, guess what? If you start using AI, all of this other work that you're doing is going to take less time. And so that will allow this extra block of time, and we can use that to start moving you into marketing.
That's really good leadership, though. That's also really good leadership.
So so that's the part, is like, it's going to take work off their plate. Great. That's where the fear is kind of triggering in. So as a leader, help map out what are they going to be able to do to grow value for the business, which then means they'll get paid more too, right? The more valuable you are to the company, the more valuable, or the more you should get paid.
I like that. He dropping little nuggets, y'all. He said the more you should get paid if you're valuable to the company. Okay, we are coming up on time. So I want to wrap up by thanking you. I appreciate you taking time to just chop it up and share your level of knowledge with our audience. And also, I always love having a good conversation with you, breaking down AI, how it fits into the new world, and even just aspects of leadership in business and companies. So I really do appreciate that. For those of y'all tuning in, follow up with the Zig and learn more about their work in business AI strategies and connect with you. LinkedIn is the best one.
Yeah, LinkedIn's the best.
Yeah. What's your full LinkedIn name? Is it? I think it's just Lewis Cruz.
Maybe we can put it in the show notes.
Now he wants me to do show notes too? Whatever. You'll be tagged on Instagram and on the YouTube. We'll make sure that we put in your LinkedIn. Okay, so you get it? Customer, they have ask. I provide the answer. So there we go with that. And as always, stay tapped into the us space through our programming, our events, our community. Come book a tour, theuspace.com, and then you can do /book-a-tour. And just come check it out. Again, Work Accountability Days every third Wednesday is completely free, complimentary. The community will take care of you, just like your community member here, including parking. And yeah, I mean, that's all I have until like next month. We'll do another AMA, and I think we're going to have one of our Tusk partners that is also on AI and branding and everything. We'll see how that goes. You got anything else you want to share?
No, I think I've got it all. But if there's any other questions on AI, feel free to reach out.
Okay, cool. Y'all, thank you. This was so fun. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.